Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long was 1975. A YouTuber on the rise, reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long Wars Bros 1975.
This is Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting on the SNES, released by Capcom in 1993. Now, no guff, I've never played this, and I don't just mean on my channel, I have never played this version of Street Fighter. Obviously, it was released in the arcades in 1992, which is when World Warrior was released on the SNES, and obviously my story of Street Fighter is I imported World Warrior from my Super Famicom in 1992, and it cost me £75 back then. I don't even want to know what that is with inflation, but I weren't quite a lot, and I can tell you I was pretty bloody popular that summer holiday. And then obviously this was, well, the sequel to World Warrior in the arcades is Championship Edition, or Champion Edition I should say, and that never really got a port. But then there was a kind of combined version of that and Turbo Hyper Fighting that was released for the Mega Drive called the Special Champion Edition, which is the next version of Street Fighter I played, and I actually have a Genesis copy of it. And then I played Super Street Fighter 2 on the Mega Drive, which has always been my favourite version. So yeah, basically I only ever played World Warrior on the SNES, and then obviously my next port was on the PlayStation and stuff like that. That was it. I was into the Zero or Alpha games, depending upon where you were from, series of games. Boring random fact: this is the last version of Street Fighter in the arcade that was on the CPS-1 system, because Super Street Fighter 2 was on the CPS-2. It may not look that much different, but it was on the CPS-2, I believe. So anyway, let's get into this. I've changed the keys. I am, however, playing this on my Super Console X, so the chances of me being able to do any special moves is very, very, very limited. But I just wanted to play it because I have played World Warrior, not on YouTube, but on, in my own time, if you will, very, very recently. I wanted to see if there's any noticeable difference. I mean, not necessarily in the speed, because I'm not one of those people that dials the speed up to infinity on Street Fighter, because I think it looks a bit retarded. But that's just me. So anyway, let's get into it. I'll tell you what, I have forgotten. How big the sprites are. Right, they're still small compared to the arcade, but how big the sprites are on Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting. I like that green bit there. Right, so we're going to go normal. Game starts. Now, awesome back then, so this is the first time on the home port you could play as the 4 bosses, but yeah, awesome back then, but my god, you just can't go back to how those characters look then, once you've seen, they're kind of mangaized, updated versions, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so Ken's always my favourite. I just like the fact he's got a Penfold eyebrow over his hair thing going on. Is it going to be censored? Don't know. Right. Oh, get some of that in your life. Get some of that in your life. Right, first things first. This to me still looks like an amazing port of the arcade machine. Granted, I never played Turbo, but you know what I mean, of a Street Fighter arcade machine. I like the Parallax Clouds and stuff like that. I wonder if Wanking Man's in this one. I guess we have to get to that stage. But the thing is, I remember at the time, oh you bastard, that when it was first reviewed in, I love the fact that my leg sweep. Can he? Yes, I can do that one. Can't do it. I don't know why I'm tempted to do Dragon Punch. I remember at the time, when it was first reviewed in Mean Machines, sorry, talking and playing at the same time, not my bag, baby, that they all said it was arcade perfect. I mean, they must have played the arcade machine. Don't get me wrong, World Warrior, when it first came out on the SNES, particularly if you had the NTSC version, because the PAL version should have been fucking done under the Trade Description Act, and how shit that was. Yeah, it clearly wasn't. It was an amazing port, considering the difference in memory between the arcade and the, you know, the SNES. This is a 20 megabit cartridge, I believe, but on the Mega Drive, it's 24? Something like that, you like, G.I. Joe. I think I'm only on, what's the default difficulty? 3 stars? I think it's only 3 stars. These pads aren't as bad at this as I thought they would be. I do remember trying to play, because I can map these pads to 6-button mode for the PC Engine version, and I do know that I just couldn't do any special moves in that version. Alright. I am aware. I am doing the same move again and again and again and again and again. But hey, what are you going to do? Are they drinking on a military base? Pretty sure they'd be court-martialed. And he's fraternising with her. Couldn't do that shit back then. This is pre-woke US military. Anyone from America watching, I'm not having a pop at your military, I'm having a pop at the people who run the advertising campaign for your military right now, because I've seen your commercials and holy cow. But to be fair, the military in this country's gone incredibly fucking woke. There is something very meaty about that punch, even if I can't do a dragon punch. Are you mirroring me? Are you mocking me, such Kenneth? Yeah, I couldn't grab him. Maybe this pad is giving me grief. Maybe I should get a white stick. Hey, is this the stage of Wanking Man? I can't remember. Yeah, there he is. Because in the... So I'm guessing this is the US version. Because didn't he reverse his arm in the other one? So it looked like it was just dislocated at the elbow. God. You know, I said, actually I don't think this pad is that bad. I lied. To be fair, when I first played it, World Warrior, on my Super Famicom, me and my mates very rarely did any of the magic moves. Probably because we couldn't read the instruction manual because it was Japanese, and also because we were just like brawling. Oh yeah! Oh yeah, that's what you do with kick, isn't it? Hey! This can't be the default difficulty, surely, or is it just because I haven't got the turbos turned on? But yeah, do you know what? This to me, in my mind, is just still an utterly... This was the era of arcade ports when, to me, they were like special. Because the arcade was still, you know, so far ahead of the home consoles, power-wise. And it was about nailing that essence. You know, it was basically like a tribute band. But then stuff like this came along, and you were just like, holy shit. Obviously the colour restrictions didn't hit the SNES, and to some degree the TurboGrafx 16, and or PC Engine, as much as the Mega Drive with its paltry 64. But basically, in order to get a decent port of the arcade game, it was cost, wasn't it? And they just had to stump up the additional memory. I'm going to get panhandled here. Oh! It's like sucking her in. Old licorice dies. Yoink. Do you have a traditional barber sign? Oh, I fucked that up. Hey, perfect. Do you have a traditional barber sign like that in China? I'm not saying you wouldn't. I'm just saying I never thought you would. And before anyone says, why don't you plug an Xbox pad in or something, I can't get it to work. I only ever use wired Xbox pads. I don't fucking see the point in wireless and just gobble up batteries and always have to live in a world of recharging. But I can't get my Super Console X to recognise it. Go on, jump. Like the song says. Although that kick is brutal. I get round off half your shit. Oh, you cheeky bint. Just one fireball. One fireball cannot. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. And the backgrounds in this, they're superb. I realise this is just me gushing and reminiscing, but yeah. Is this a step up? Clearly, because you've got 4 extra characters, and if speed was your thing, then you would have loved this. I just would have been happy with the fact that you can play 4 bosses, but I mean, in the graphics department, are there new frames of animation? There aren't any new moves, are there? But are there new frames of animation? Don't know. But the thing is, it pretty much nailed the aesthetic, didn't it, in World Warriors? So what did they need to do apart from make the 4 characters, you know, playable, and dial up in all the speed options and stuff like that? Add a couple of more endings in. I haven't noticed yet if there's blood. I haven't been paying attention because I've just been talking a massive amount of random bollocks. Which, to be fair, if you watch my channel, is my bag, baby. I know, I'm just going to be cheap. Why can't I can do a fireball, so... Why can't I do the dragon? Well, I know I can't do the dragon punch because the pad is garbage. I'm just going to have to spam the helicopter kick. Hurricane kick. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Just the one fire extinguisher, people. Look at all those chemical vats behind, but just the one fire extinguisher. There is blood then. So, there wasn't in the first game. It was changed to sweat and vomiting, wasn't it? Which you could still argue was nasty. But there is in this one? Is there in the actual game though? Don't know. Obviously, this is where you notice the difference between the arcades. Less elephants. I had a mate back in the day who was so good with dowsing. Fucking used to drive me and my other mates up the fucking wall. How balanced is this? Don't know. But yeah, all in all, what an amazing port. Granted, a port I never played in the arcades, but you know what I mean. A port of a Street Fighter game. Some of this. Once you start thinking about it, I always struggle trying to do special moves this way. Because my brain just, I don't know, does it. Anyway, Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting on the SNES. What a port! Kind of sorry I skipped over this back in the day. I'm going to assume this probably was a pack-in at some point. But then if it was, it still would have been, look at his face, still would have been, he looks like a Madame Tussauds of himself that's been left ever so slightly closer to the radio. But yeah, the PAL version still would have been shit because they didn't start up to. I think the first game I had on my Super Famicom, it was an English version, and I had to play it with an adapter that was actually optimised for PAL, was Turtles in Time. By all means, correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, it's always a lovely thing, especially if you played this version of Street Fighter 2 in the arcade or on the SNES back in the day. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.